A very warm welcome to the channel Food-O-Mania. This is Abhishek and today I am presenting my presentation on the topic saffron processing. This is the assignment of our course FT227 which name is Processing of Spices and Plantation Crop, and this assignment was prepared by our group members named Abhishek Chaurasia, RV Singh, Bhavya Pandey, Neeraj Yadav, and this assignment is supervised by Dr. Rajkumar Dwari sir, Professor of Department of Dairy Science and Food Technology, BHU. Basically, in this lecture, we cover all about the introduction part till uses of saffron in food industry. Further, we start with the introductory part. Basically, saffron scientifically that is known as the crocus sativus, and it is a spice that is derived from the flower of the saffron crocus plant. And generally, saffron is the world most expensive spices because of the labor-intensive harvesting process. And the saffron thread are of the stigma, which is from the female reproductive part of the flower. And generally, saffron is hand picked, and after that, further it is dried. And saffron spice is generally prized for its distinct flavor, aroma, and rich golden color, which generally impart to the dishes. And Iran is the largest producer of the saffron, which is followed by the countries like India, Spain, and Greece. And saffron has a wide range of uses that we used in the dishes, including paella, risotto, biryani, and also we used in making dessert like saffron ice cream and cakes. And sometimes we use in the beverages such as the saffron infused tea. Next, we discuss about the taxonomy of the saffron. Saffron botanical name is Crocus sativus. It belongs to the kingdom Plantae, and its order is Aspergillus, and from the Iridiaceae family, having the genus Crocus. And generally, saffron is a perennial crop, which is produced in which the corms are planted, and then it is left to produce 4 to 5 years. Saffron mature size is around 10 to 30 centimeter. Commonly, saffron is known as the saffron plant, kesar plant. Next, we see the parts of the saffron flower, which comprises generally leaves, petals, buds, stem, and the below part is called the corm. And having the petal, stamen, and the stigma part. Saffron is generally a plant of the small height, around 10 to 25 centimeter, and it is developed from the bulbs. And generally, there is a corm, which is a tuberous and the bulbous structure, which is around 2.5 to 3 centimeter in diameter, with coated fiber of whitish and earthy color. Generally, saffron flower is a single and terminal purple flower, which is comprises of the 6 petal, 3 stamen, and having the 3 orange-red stigma. And also we see the various part of the stigma, having the upper part is called the sargol, and just below part that is called the negin, and then next part is called the poshal, and the whole part till conch is called the daste, and the below part that is of whitish in color called conch. Next, we discuss the macroscopy of the saffron flower. Saffron having the typically a stigma having the dark red to reddish brown in color, and its style is yellowish brown to yellowish orange in color. And the saffron having typically a strong characteristic and aromatic odor, and having a bitter in taste. And generally, the size of the stigma are 25 long, and its styles are about 10 long. And the stigma are trifid in shape, and the styles are generally of the cylindrical in shape. Further, we see the bioactive component. Generally, saffron contains more than 150 compounds, which include volatile and non-volatile, which including carotenoids comprises, that is quercetin, crocin, beta-carotene, lycopene, and zeaxanthin, and having some monoterpene aldehydes, that is picrocrocin and saffronol. And sometime other components are also present, flavonoids, vitamins, protein, and amino acid. We discuss one by one. Generally, saffron is fascinating spices with having the different types of bioactive constituents. So we discuss one by one. Firstly, we discuss about the crocin. So crocin is generally a unusual apocarotenoids, and these pigments are detected in the red lobes of the stigma of the flower. And generally, this compound gives saffron its vibrant color, and they also possess antioxidant property. Quercetin, next one is the quercetin. Quercetin is generally responsible for the aroma of the saffron, and quercetin is also an apocarotenoid. And generally, quercetin are the lipophilic carotenoid, which is derived from the hydrolysis of the crocin glycosides. And next one is the saffronol. Saffronol is another apocarotenoids. Generally, saffronol contribute to the saffron distinct flavor. And fourth one, we discuss the picrocrocin. Generally, picrocrocin, this is compound is responsible for the saffron bitterness. Generally, picrocrocin is a odorless glycoside monoterpene, and picrocrocin is a product that is derived from the degradation of zeaxanthin, and generally it's responsible for the bitterness in the saffron. And some other components like camphorol, naringenin, taxifolene, lycopene, and zeaxanthin are also present in the saffron. And generally, these are the flavonoids and the carotenoids pigments that add saffron health benefits. Some vitamin are also present, like particularly thiamine is present in as a bioactive component in the saffron. Further, we see the coloring compound in saffron. we see the structure of the coloring compound that is present in the saffron. Some compounds such as picrocrocine. Picrocrocine generally is the second our most abundant component in the dry matter content, and generally it is responsible for the bitterness in the saffron due to the glucose side, and generally it is responsible for the saffron's pungent flavor. Second one is the crocine. Crocine, that is the yellow orange color of saffron, is due to the alpha crocine, and generally crocine is a trans crocine crocetine diester, and generally it is a carboxylic ester. And last one is the saffronal. Saffronal is responsible generally for the aroma of the saffron, and also it imparts some color in the saffron. Further, we discuss all the types of the saffron one by one. Generally, saffron having the different types based on how it looks and what it contains. Generally, in physical classification, saffron is put into groups based on its size and shape. And each strand of the saffron is made up of two parts. The first part of the stigma is that the red part of the saffron, and second one is the cream part, that is the white saffron part. So types of saffron, we see the first type, that is the branch saffron, bunch saffron, that is the yellow and red and yellow part of the saffron are put together in a single strand, and the stigma of the three saffron branches are in this part are not separated from the white part of the saffron. This is the bunch type. So this is also known as the bunch saffron. And the second one is the sargal saffron. Sargal saffron is generally most widely used and commonly type of the saffron that people's commonly used as a saffron. And the third one is the pushal saffron. Pushal saffron is the saffron cream and the whitish part kept away under the flower so that the stigma having the cream part and some yellow or white can be seen at the end of the stigma of the three branches of the saffron. Generally, it is a pocket-like shape. We see the structure of the saffron that is pocket-like shape. That's why it is called the pushal saffron. The fourth one is the nagging saffron. So in nagging saffron, we see the structure of the nagging saffron. Generally, this type of saffron has beautiful color and shape, and also it has a smell, having the great smell. And generally, this kind of saffron looks better and having the cost more than the sargol saffron. Fifth one is the conch or white saffron. Basically, this is not types of the saffron. It's not included in the variety of the saffron, but we considered because it is derived after the head is separated from the stalk, and generally the root or white part is taken. In European countries, this part is called the white saffron. Sixth one is the Kashmiri saffron. Kashmiri saffron having India's thick Kashmiri saffron, that is the strand having the purple maroon in color, and that looks beautiful in shape and size. And generally, it is produced in the Karnataka region. And the seventh one is the Greek saffron. Greek, that is having the red or orange thread-like structure. And eighth one is the Moroccan. Moroccan saffron, generally this type of saffron is grown in Morocco, and Moroccan having a bit of a red, orange, or yellow style. And the last one is the Spanish saffron. And this variety of saffron is generally brilliant red and brighter in color. Further, we discuss the plantation part of the saffron, how it is what are the climatic requirements during the plantation of the saffron. The temperature is required around 20 to 35 degrees Celsius, and generally the saffron plant requires 6 to 8 hours direct sunlight per day, and it requires rainfall in dry condition and in the autumn season. What are the soil requirements? We see one by one. Firstly, generally the soil is well-drained soil and having the pH level around 6 to 8, and the nutrient content is generally the saffron is the soil requirement is that it is rich in organic matter, particularly it having the potassium and the phosphorus content. We see the steps of the plantation one by one. Firstly, we choose the right location where we have to plant the saffron crops. It is having the well-drained soil and having the full sun. We pick a spot with a good drainage system and having the plenty of sunlight. Then we prepare the soil. For preparing the soil, we loosen the soil to a depth of about 8 to 10 inches. And then we remove all the other parts like rocks, weeds, and debris. And then we mix the organic matter such as compost and to improve the soil structure and the fertility. We see the picture how preparing the soil and how the next one is the planting the bulb. Generally, the bulb that is called the corm are usually planted in a late spring or early summer season. Generally, we dip a hole around 4 inches deep and 6 inches apart, and we place the bulb in the hole with the pointed end facing up, and then we cover with the soil, cover the bulb part with the soil, and then put the water them well. And generally, we keep the soil consistently moist, but not waterlogged, especially during the growing season. Next step, the mulch. Mulch, generally we apply a layer of organic mulch like straw and shredded leaves to help retain moisture and the suppress weeds. After that, we have to clearly maintenance. Generally, we have to keep the area weed free and the water during the dry spells. And the saffron generally bloom in the fall after flowering. Allow the foliage to die back to the naturally to replenish the bulb for the next year growth. After that, we do the harvesting process, harvesting the saffron thread from the flowers shortly after they bloom, and then gently pluck the red stigma from the flower. Then dry them in the warm and well and ventilated area. We see the how it's look like the saffron flower. We see the one by one detailed cultivation process. Firstly, preparing the how industrially saffron is cultivated. We prepare land for the cultivating saffron onion, and the second step is the planting saffron onion. That is the bulb that we call as the saffron corns. The third step, we see the flower that start yelling around around in the month of the August and November month, and then we harvesting the flower patch. Then we harvesting the flowers. After that, we detach the flower with his organ. And in the sixth step, we drying the saffron stigma. Generally, we drying with a tray dryer in the industry, and we sent it for the lab test to control the quality standard and the compatibility of the saffron. And then we further the pure natural saffron is ready to use. That is the bulk saffron. And then for the packing part, we generally pack in a sanitary environment with having the precise scales. Further, we discuss the harvesting, how it will be harvested. Generally, it is harvested in two types. First is the hand harvesting. Generally, it is the traditional method, but it is the labor-intensive method, and generally it requires a skilled labor, which who carefully pluck the saffron flower. And generally, it is plucking part is generally done in the early morning, and when they are still the flower part is still closed, and the stigma or the thread are then meticulously removed from each flower by the hand. And generally, hand harvesting ensure the highest quality of the saffron, but the disadvantage of the hand harvesting is that it is a time consuming process and having it require a large workforce. The second harvesting method is the mechanical harvesting. In this mechanical harvesting method, we generally there is a specially designed machines which we used in the harvesting process, and this is an automate process of the flower. This is collecting the flower, and then it will extract the stigma part, and the machine gently plug the flower from the fields, and it will separate the stigma mechanically. And then mechanical harvesting generally having the great advantage because it reduces the labor cost, and also it increase the efficiency, but generally it require a careful calibration because of the avoiding the damaging of the delicate stigma. Generally, during the saffron processing, we see various challenges. We see the first one challenges is the labor intensive harvesting. Generally, the saffron harvesting is a labor intensive, which require delicate hand picking of the stigma from the crocus flower. Second challenge is that we see the weather dependency. Generally, the saffron cultivation is susceptible to weather condition, which generally affect the yield and the quality of the saffron. And the third challenge is that we see the quality control. Generally, quality control or generally the maintenance of the saffron quality standard is very crucial due to its high market value, and there is a various susceptibility to the adulteration of the saffron. And fourth one is the market competition. Generally, competition from the counterfeit or the low quality saffron product poses a challenge to the legitimate producer. There is a various competition of the saffron. So and the post-harvest processing, this is also a major challenges during the saffron processing because proper drying or storage or maintenance is required to preserve the saffron quality and the potency. What are the solution for the various challenges? We discuss one by one. First one is challenges is the labor intensive. So generally investment in the technology, we used mechanized harvesting to reduce the labor cost and increase the efficiency. For the second challenges, we generally implementing the greenhouse cultivation for the weather dependency challenges. And this technique generally mitigate the weather risk and ensure consistent production. And for the third challenge, that is a quality issue, we implement generally strict quality control measure, which include generally certification process. And also there is a various traceability system that can ensure the authenticity and they build consumer trust. And various creating awareness is also required for the benefit of the authentic saffron and the cracking down on counterpart products that legal measure can protect the market integrity, which will ensure the challenges that is the saffron adulteration part. And for the post-harvest challenges, we generally investing in the modern processing facility that we equipped with a climate control drying or storage system, and which will ensure the optimal product quality and the shelf life. Further, we discuss the adulteration in saffron. Saffron is which is a valuable spice, as we know, with a distinct aroma, flavor, and taste or color, and that is the subjected to various adulteration.
due to its high economic growth and limited worldwide production, and also there is an increase in demand. Adulteration in saffron not only degrade the product's quality, and which also have a destructive effect on both health and consumer trust. Generally, saffron is adulterated by mixing with other plant materials such as safflower petals, turmeric, marigold petals, which are mixed with the saffron. And sometimes we dry the tendril of the maize cob, and then artificial saffron is prepared by the drying of the tendril maize cob, and then we add the color, and then we mix with the saffron. And sometimes we check by try breaking a saffron strand. Sometimes it will not break because it will be the artificially saffron which are crumble and easily under pressure. And also we try to dissolving saffron in water. Pure saffron will keeps on giving color until it completely dissolve, but the fake saffron will not give that. Further, we discuss about the adulterants. Generally, two types of adulterant is used. One is the natural, and the other one is the synthetic. Natural adulterant, which include the marigold, safflower, gardenia, turmeric, corn fiber, daylily, sorrelena, ground seed, part of the saffron flower, etc. And in the synthetic adulterants, we use the aloe red, aragibrine, and the carbonic acid, erythrocin, Panacea forar, and the various totrazine and the bylus. And there are various application of the adulteration having the that we call it the side effect of the adulterated saffron. Adulterated saffron cause various effect on the cell lines, and having animal models like allergies, developmental toxicity, and genotoxicity, cancer. They are also having the neurological effect and hormonal disruption effect, and having greater effect on the fertility, and having some it will cause the stomach disorder. And generally it is the this what was the we see the detection method, how it can be detected the adulteration of the saffron. So we discuss next one is the methods of detection, the various method through which we detect the saffron adulteration. So various saffron method and techniques have been developed in order to detect the adulteration in saffron. The first one method is the physical method, which include the visual inspection and the microscopic examination to identify the physical difference between pure saffron and its adulterants. Second one is the chemical method, or we can say that the biochemical techniques, which include a range of method. Biochemical method, which comprises the chromatography method, spectroscopic method, and also the sensory based method, molecular method. So in molecular method, we generally use the polymerase chain reaction, which identify the saffron's DNA. And in the spectroscopy method, we use various methods. And in the sensory based method, chromatography based method, in which we technique like HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography. And sometimes we use the thin layer chromatography that we use to separate and identify the saffron. And spectroscopic methods that will be utilizing instrument like UV, NIR, FTIR spectroscopy that is used to analyze the saffron spectra's properties. And in the sensory based method, various nanosensor based approach that we use for the quick detection. And the greater advantage of the sensory based method, it is the low cost and having the minimal sample preparation. The biggest question is that why saffron is so expensive. Everyone is questioning having the saffron is why saffron is expensive. We see the answer for this question. First is the cultivation process. Generally, as we had discussed earlier, that saffron is come from the stigma of the crocus sativus flower. Not only the stigma, and having each crocus flower has only three red stigma. And to get the 1 kg of saffron, we need to harvest 1 lakh plus flower. And the 1 kg of saffron Kashmiri flower is generally having the cost of 2.5 lakh. And Iran, which produces the 88% of the world saffron, with India following the second place at 7%. And in 2021, Iran exported a whopping 190 million worth of the saffron. The second reason why saffron is so expensive is the labor, because saffron cultivation is the labor intensive process, and these flowers are delicate, meaning that the saffron stem need to be individually hand picked. And the third one is the climate. The crocus plant can only grown in the specific condition, and sometimes if we overwatering or excessive sun exposure is used, and extremely cold temperature, which generally ruin the entire harvest. And the last one is the scarcity. Generally, saffron is harvested only once a year, and it will be last only 2 to 3 days. We discuss about the saffron market segmentation analysis. Here we see the report that will be designed by the customer market side. And we see the customer market size of the saffron in 2024 is USD 1.5 billion, and projected market size is 2.6 billion US dollar. And market size in the previous year 2023 is around 1.3 billion US dollar. And we see various report coverage that will be covered by the revenue estimation and forecast company profile. And regional scope is of countries like North America, Europe, Asia Pacific, Middle East and Africa, and South and Central America, and the various buying option that request a tailored purchasing option to fulfill our requirements. We see the saffron market that was valued US dollar 1.5 billion in 2024, and it is expected to reach around 2.6 billion US dollar by 2033, and at a CAGR of 6.8% during the forecast period around of between 2024 to 2033. And this is the we see the analysis of the data of around 2023, how it will be gradually increase till 2033. We see the how food supplement will be increases year by year, and the cosmetic uses will increases. Personal care product will widely used and also be used in the and beverage industry. The saffron market will be grown rapidly from the year 2023 to 2033. We see the various segment of the saffron market because it will be segmented by the grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4. We see the pie chart, and the major part is the grade 1. Further it will be the grade 2, and then it will be grade 3, and then last one is the grade 4. By form it will be liquid, powder, stigma, petal, and stamen. And we see the major part is the liquid part. Further it will be the powder part that we used, and sometimes we use the stigma part also, and the very least way we used is the stamen. And by application, saffron market generally comprises to the food supplement, cosmetic products, personal care product, food and beverage industry, and others. We see later on the application where we use the saffron. Saffron having the various health benefits that we used in the used as an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and also in the antidepressant. And the next one we use in the textile industry for the dyeing purposes. And in the pharmaceutical industry, we also use the saffron for the treatment of the depression, Alzheimer disease, and also we used in the cancer disease. And it having the culinary uses that will be prepared in preparing the rice, stews, dessert. We use this saffron, and as a flavoring agent, we use the saffron in the beverage, like in preparing the tea and the liquors. And also there is a various uses of saffron in the food industry. Generally, saffron has been used in food industry for the culinary purpose as an aromatic flavoring and coloring agents. Various products where we use in preparing the right dishes. Saffron is added fragrance and color to the rice dishes like paella, in preparing biryani, risotto, and also we used in the bakery and confectionery industries, which will be produce fortified cookies, cakes, pastries, which will enhance the flavor and the color. And also we used in the soup and stews. Generally, saffron infuses in the soup and stew with a distinct taste and having golden hue. We also use the saffron as a in the preparing of the dessert. From ice cream to pudding, saffron elevates the flavor profile of the sweet treats. We clearly see in the pictures. And in beverage, we also used in the beverage industry, such as while we preparing the tea, cocktails, and even infused water for a touch of luxury. And also in preparing of these sauces and the marinades, generally the saffron, which will impart the unique flavor to the sauces and marinade, and also it will enhance the overall taste of the dishes. And confectionery, such as chocolate preparation, candy preparation, and even sometimes we use in the jam preparation.
Thank you for watching the video. Please like, subscribe.